Video about this Haitian voodoo god that goes by the name of Damballa, and a lot of people brought to my attention this is the same god that Chucky worshipped on Child's Play.
And also happy Damballa Wedo Day.
Happy to eat Damballa.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all paid. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me.
Hi guys, welcome back to All Things Jenny. I'm Jenny. Happy Monday, happy St. Patty's Day, and also happy Damballa Wedo Day. So today, most people might know it as St. Patrick's Day. A lot of people wear green for that day, but today is actually a very powerful day in the Haitian Loire community. It is the day of Damballa Wedo. So you might have heard a quote or a saying, or not necessarily a saying, but a chant from the movie Chucky when he's trying to basically transfer his body into the doll's body or the person's body, where he says something Damballa. You guys remember that? There's one of the Chuckies where he basically was like holding somebody's head and chanting to Damballa, and even though they were using his likeness or they were using his chant, they never gave credit to him, to Damballa. So let's talk.
In the story of Haitian legends, there is a deity who towers above all others, a spirit of immense power and wisdom. His name is Damballa Wedo, and he is the first and most revered of all Voodoo spirits. Created by the one great god at the dawn of time, Damballa is the head of the Loire spirit nation known as the Rada, and he commands the loyalty of some of the mightiest spirits in existence. As the powerful serpent angel, Damballa shaped the very fabric of our world, molding mountains, seas, and skies with his immense power. He rules over the likes of myself, Papa Legba, the spirit of the crossroad, Ogu Ferre, the spirit of war and fire, and Met Agwe, the spirit of the sea, among many others. Yet Damballa is no ordinary Loire, for he is the only one who speaks directly to the one great God. He serves as a vital link between the divine and the earthly, relaying messages and commands to the other Loire spirits. However, something is amiss, for Damballa has not spoken with the one great God for a millennium. It is a time of great peril, for the demigod Ahriman the Wicked has returned with a dark purpose, to wipe out the earthly realm and all the Voodoo spirits with it. As the shadow of Ahriman the Wicked looms over the land, the Voodoo spirits find themselves at a crossroads. The fate of the earthly realm hangs in the balance, and the only message we have received from our beloved Damballa is the name of a mortal man called Dutty Boukman.
Let's talk about Damballa and how he helps us to manifest money. Damballa is associated with the cosmos or air, right? The sky, the stars, the galaxies, the planets. When you think about all of the wisdom and all of the infinite knowledge, there's so many galaxies, right? Isn't it like an infinite number? Like, we don't even know all the planets. Well, clearly, because, you know, the aliens, y'all know the aliens are real, right? Okay, sidebar. But the point is that Damballa gives us the wisdom. He gives us ideas that make life better or make life easier. So for example, I'm renting out my apartment. Damballa gave me the idea. He said, invest in a dishwasher in that apartment, because that's a wise choice and people will pay more money for your apartment because it has a dishwasher or because it has brand new appliances. Y'all get my point? So those are the kind of things that Damballa can help us with. The wisdom to see where money can be multiplied, if that makes sense. Love you, Bobo.
Let's talk about one of my favorite horror movies growing up, because it has a lot of symbolism in it that we just have to talk about. So the other day I made a video about this Haitian voodoo god that goes by the name of Damballa. And a lot of people brought to my attention, this is the same god that Chucky worshipped on Child's Play. Now Damballa is one of the most important spirits in voodoo because he is the Sky Father. And in Chucky, whenever Charles Lee Ray was getting caught by the police and he got shot, he transferred his soul over to the closest thing that was near him, and it was the good guy doll. And the way he transferred his soul into the good guy doll was with this mystical amulet called the Heart of Damballa. And this amulet is associated with the voodoo spirit Damballa. And it says when invoking the spirit of Damballa, great dark clouds will manifest in the sky and powerful bolts of lightning will strike while doing this chant. So y'all remember whenever Chucky was transferring his soul over, he would do that chant and it would start to like storm. And a lot of people was like, how did Chucky even have access to voodoo? Y'all remember this scene whenever Chucky went back to this man's house and unalived him? He was his voodoo practitioner who taught him everything you know. And that is a prime example of why you don't teach everybody this magic, because everybody don't use this stuff for good. Prime example. So if you want to learn voodoo and all this and you want to teach people voodoo, just think about this. He taught Charles Lee Ray voodoo and look what happened. He came back and unalived him when he didn't get what he wanted. Now on Child's Play, he mentioned this amulet and Damballa numerous amount of times. And then on the Bride of Chucky, it shows how, they were going to find the amulet, him and Tiffany, because he turned her into a doll as well. So the whole time on the Bride of Chucky, they're basically trying to find Charles Lee Ray's body and where he was buried because he was buried with the amulet on his neck. So they're trying to get way to his grave, but it's difficult because they're dolls and they can't necessarily drive. So they got somebody to take them to the grave so they can get the heart and Damballa off of Charles Lee's body and transfer their souls over to a human because, they don't want to be dolls anymore. So I just really think that was just so cool because I never thought about it. Like, I didn't realize how much this movie was based on voodoo until I look back at it and I'm like, wow, like this movie is literally based off of Voodoo God because he wouldn't have became a doll if he didn't use the chant or have the heart in Damballa. So let me know what y'all think about this in the comments because I never even thought about this until the other day I made that video about Damballa and y'all brought this to my attention. So that is really cool to me.
So the representation of Damballa is actually a snake, and a lot of people I know are afraid of snakes, but snakes are not evil because snakes actually represents new life, new beginning, shedding your skin and welcoming you. But depending on how you see the snake in a dream, sometimes it could be warnings. It could also be just new beginning that's coming to you. So today I'm representing Damballa with my snake ring and also my snake bracelet, but I don't actually celebrate Damballa. I don't have an altar for him, but I respect the Loa that is Damballa Wedo, so just because I don't worship him or work with him or even set up food out for him doesn't mean I don't respect it. So most people who actually set out an altar for him, they would have flowers and then they'll have an egg in the middle of the flower and then they'll also give spirit, which is alcohol, to him. So if you guys remember, about a month and a half ago, I actually posted a video of the Loa Simbi, which is also a snake and they live in the water. So they're not the same, and the people who practice or who work with Damballa today, March 17th, you will see them either posting where they're like setting up an altar for him, preparing their meals. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the conjure. They're in Georgia. It's a whole family and they are not Haitian. I don't believe they're Haitians, but they have descendant of Haitians and they practice. So I ran into one of her videos and she was basically setting up an altar for Damballa. It's called the conjure. They're in Georgia, and a lot of celebrities like Young Jock, and I know like a lot of celebrities that live in Georgia actually work with them, and their products are actually really
Damballa.
Give me the power, I beg of you. Mortis me le de me vous say. Adulé pour des
What say Damballa? What say Damballa? Awake! What a crock.
Do you remember Damballa from Child's Play? Whenever Chucky would speak in his cursed tongues, the transfer spirits, right? Did you know that's an actual spirit from the Satanic Bible? Yes, it is. So whenever we were younger and we were watching Child's Play and Chucky, we were actually watching a real spirit being called upon. Now, of course, some people say, well, yeah, it's a movie. Well, did you know that movie Chucky was based on Robert the Doll? Yeah, Robert the Doll, which was a cursed doll, and whoever had this doll in their possessions would experience torment. This doll is currently being held at a museum, if I remember correctly. But yes, this is very demonic. This stuff is demonic. And yes, spirits can attach themselves onto objects. God himself did it to handkerchiefs and stuff like that, and people were healed. And we know the enemy likes to copy God. So ponder that, all right? If you like content like this, follow this page for more. Now, the deadline is in a few days. My wife and I are doing a 3-day class on spiritual warfare. We're going to be teaching on marine spirits, on how to get and maintain freedom, how the enemy attacks you in your sleep, and more. If this sounds like something that you think could be beneficial for you, go to my bio and click the Eventbrite link in my bio to join. Don't join if you don't feel like it'll be beneficial, all right? But it is not a live class. It's pre-recorded, meaning if you work, you have the links to watch at your own pace.
Damballa, Damballa, vini parler pour moi, Damballa. Oui, bonne fête, Damballa. Damballa is usually synchronized with either St. Patrick or Moses. He's accounted as a reader, lower spirit. Damballa has patience, he's wise, of course he's kind, and yet he removes all the trials and tribulations in your daily life. Yes, he's commonly represented as a serpent in possession. He demands for his realm and rolls on the ground. So yes, Damballa is one of the beautiful Reda lower spirits. He is the husband of Aida Wedo and the lover of Ezili Freda. Oui.
So as you can see here, this is a Damballa Wedo altar. They're offering him eggs because it represents the eggs of the snake. It's like a what do you call this? Snake, I don't know, nest with the eggs and everything. And also you notice how the two snakes with the line between it looks like the medical. Hollywood have been using a lot of Black and or Haitian religious or spiritual practice like voodoo hoodoo in their movies, just basically dropping little hints without you even knowing, like the Child's Play movie that is supposed to be for children, which Chucky should not have been for children, first of all, right? Because that's crazy. But you putting an actual spell in the movie for children to watch and listen to. Imagine you falling asleep in front of the TV and this part of the movie come up. You're basically chanting this in the subconscious. You're chanting without even realizing it, right? Because it's playing while you're sleeping. But also they like to also demonize things and say that it's evil, it's demonic. But why are you putting it in a movie? In a child's movie, let alone, right? In a child's movie. And then my thing too is when the man basically saying that the Chucky, the Child's Play scene, the chant is in the demonic or satanic Bible. Well, a lot of people like to put how do you call this, a stigma or a title on something and call it evil simply because they don't understand it, right? Because imagine you walking into a room and it's dark and all you see is a coat rack holding a coat, and you just assume that it's someone standing in the corner of your house, but it's because it's dark and you cannot see what it truly is, so therefore you label it as evil or demonic or scary, right? But as soon as you turn on the light, everything becomes clear, becomes illuminated, like Illuminati illuminated, and all of a sudden now it's not so scary anymore. So just like me, right, I've always wanted to be a mortician. And at one point I used to be so afraid of the dead, so afraid of, death, because I didn't know about it. I didn't know anything about it, so therefore I was afraid of it until I learned about it, and now I'm so mesmerized by it because it's part of life. There's nothing you can do to escape death. Death and paying taxes are two things that you cannot escape, right? So in my opinion, I learned about it. I taught myself by reading books that I needed to read to understand what it was. And now it's not so scary to me anymore. But in Hollywood, there are so many movies where they would put real spells, real chants, all of those things. And you are watching them. You are becoming more familiar with them. You are becoming more open to them. But it can affect you differently because you don't know the proper way to approach it. It's just being placed in front of you, and you are basically absorbing this, in your subconscious. Like I said before, for example, you fall asleep in front of a movie or in front of the TV while you're watching Child's Play, which is supposed to be a child's movie, right? Highly would not recommend you letting your children to watch this movie at such a young age, because look at the chant that they're putting in the movie, which is very much a powerful chant, okay? Very much a powerful chant. You're falling asleep in front of the TV and this scene come on, right? You are now in the subconscious way. It is so much easier for you to manifest things into reality when it's in the subconscious. When you are sleeping and your subconscious is inactive or it's active. So now you are listening to this chant. You know how I learned things? When I was in college, I actually learned this from a doctor. When I was in college, I learned this from this doctor. He basically told me that record my voice. So if I have a test, right, he would say, record my voice saying what the questions are and the answers. And then while I'm sleeping, put earbuds in my ears and listen to it while I'm sleeping, because now I'm listening to it in the subconscious, and now I'm manifesting the information, or I'm learning the information. My brain is absorbing the information, and now I can know it better. And even before that, before he told me this, when I was like in middle school, high school, I learned the song, I won't put you to bed. That song, like birthday, that song, I actually learned it because I used to listen to the radio whenever I would be asleep. Whenever I'm going to sleep, I would listen to the radio. Even that lady, the artist, Enya, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Enya. She's really, really good. I knew all of her songs because I would listen to the radio at nighttime in the channel where they would always play her. I knew every lyrics, and I never actually read it or anything. It's just that I would listen to it at nighttime, and in my subconscious it was stuck there. So when you go to sleep, it's like going into like dark matter, right? You are listening to something while you're sleeping in the subconscious, and before you know it, you know the lyrics to whatever it is that you're listening to, or you're trying to study. I've been telling my best friend this is the best way to study. Record yourself saying whatever it is that you need to learn, and then while you're sleeping, listen to it while you're sleeping, because naturally in your subconscious you're going to absorb the information. So therefore, imagine a child sleeping or falling asleep in front of the TV, and Chucky is saying some chant that can basically manifest a snake, manifest Damballa, Wedo, and Damballa, Wedo is not something to play with, So imagine how many other chants and spells that they have been putting in the movies that you're watching and you're listening to. So you be careful, okay? And I know, like I said, the man was saying that it is in the Satanic Bible. I would say this again. The Satanic Bible sounds scary because it's relating to like Satan and and so therefore, like in the Bible there's like a lot of demons and Well, it's not necessarily scary. You can learn about those things so that way when you hear it, you know what it is. Doesn't mean that it's scary. You simply know the information, because something simply becomes scary when you don't know the information. When you don't know what it is scary to you. But once you learn about it, it's not as scary anymore, because you've heard it. You know what it's supposed to be. You know why you should stay away from it, or why you should learn more about it. So therefore it's not as scary anymore. And that's how I look at life, right? You cannot be afraid of everything simply because you don't know about it. If you just take the time to actually learn about the things, it's not going to be as scary anymore. And in my videos, I like to teach you guys about, like, you know, all the different laws in Haitian spirituality and, you know, the Haitian religion. That way, whenever you see it, you don't demonize my culture's religion simply because you don't know it. It's good to know, because just like I said with like snakes, a lot of people are so afraid of snakes. And don't get me wrong, whenever you do see snakes in your dreams, it could be warning you about something, depending on like where you see it, right? And who's around you when you see it. It could be warning you about fake friends, you know, just be careful with these people, or be careful with this house, whatever it is. But also, snakes also represents new life, new beginning, new, you know, shedding of the skin and grounding, because snakes are very low to the ground. So it represents grounding and also new life, new beginning. So just because it's snake does not mean it's evil or bad. For example, yesterday I was at the beach with my best friend and my boyfriend, now fiance. We basically saw this big black snake, and they were so afraid of it. Even this big tall African man afraid of the snake, and I'm just like, it's just a black snake, you know, it's not going to do anything to you. It's a garden snake. So to me, like, they were like, oh, why aren't you rushing? And I'm like, it's just a snake. And it's kind of funny that I saw it yesterday, which was March 16th, and then today is Damballa Wedo's Day, which is March 17th, and I hadn't seen a snake since the beginning of the year. So it was kind of interesting that I saw the snake yesterday, and I didn't think twice about it because it was raining and we were just like trying to get out of the rain. But I was not afraid of it, because why? It's a snake, you know, and there's nothing bad about snakes unless it's poisonous. Even then, you know that it's poisonous, so you will stay away from it, you know. So that's the reason about like learning something, so you know when to stay away from it. Yeah. So anyways, guys, what was I gonna say again? Anyways, I hope this information makes sense to you, and I hope you don't see my channel as something that's demonic and evil, because let me tell you, it's usually the Christian that says everything is demonic and evil, right? It's usually them that also always say everything is demonic and evil, because they're depending on someone to tell them the information without them actually finding out for themselves, you know. So it's good to open your horizon, open your brain to learn new information, therefore, so you're not afraid of it. So you're not afraid of the things that someone told you, oh, well, this is evil, you should be afraid of it. Well, why is it evil? Why is it evil? Learn about it. You know what I mean? Just like the thing I'm saying about when you walk into a dark room, you don't know what's behind the door or what's in the dark in the corner, so therefore you find it to be evil. But until you turn on the light and you see that it's just a coat in the side of the, you know, on a coat hanger in the corner of the room, you realize that you don't even know why you were afraid in the first place. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Happy Damballa Wedo Day. And also notice that his color is green for St. Patty's Day. So some way, somehow, those two are kind of related. Look into that and let me know what you find out. Love you guys. Mwah! I'm going to